Yo, it's your boy Wes the Tech here to bring you another one of my personal favorite tech tips to help you as an artist grow in your craft. Now today we're gonna go over 3 things that you should know about Distrokid before signing up with them, all right? Now, if you're a recording artist who's possibly considering signing up with Distrokid, then this is the perfect video for you, because in this video, I'm gonna go over everything that you need to know about Distrokid before you ultimately make the decision to sign up with them, all right? Now, before I continue, I definitely wanna let you guys know about my free music business checklist that's available to download off of my website right now, all right? This free tool is for those of you who's looking into starting your own music business, but don't quite know where to start, right? With this free tool, you'll actually be able to identify 3 things that you could do right away to start your own music business. So if you want to grab that free tool, you can click on the link above. I'll also leave that link in the descriptions below, all right? Now, when it comes to Distrokid, before I continue, I definitely want to let you guys know that I have been using Distrokid for a few years now, all right? So everything that I'm about to say about Distrokid is not stuff that I researched, but stuff that I have actually experienced. You know, at this point, I know most of the ins and outs of Distrokid because it's the only music distribution company that I have dealt with since I started releasing my music on streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music and stuff like that, right? So I have a really good idea of everything Distrokid has to offer when it comes to their pros and their cons, right? So when it comes to Distrokid as a distribution company, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's one of the best ones when you are considering all the benefits and all the tools and things that they offer for you as an independent artist, right? Distrokid is literally at the top of the list when it comes to perks, when it comes to tools, when it comes to all the different things that you could connect to, from Apple Music for artists, Spotify for artists. You can connect it to your Twitch, you can connect YouTube official artist channel, all of the different things that they have that you could incorporate with your music, Distrokid has, which makes Distrokid great when it comes to their benefits, right? But the 3 things that I'm about to mention overall are 3 things that could really hinder you or keep you away from signing up for Distrokid if you personally don't like it, right? These are the 3 things that people don't really talk about when it comes to Distrokid, and these are the 3 things that I feel is very, very important when it comes to the entire decision-making process on whether you decide to sign up with it or not. And I'm gonna go over those 3 things right now, all right? So the first thing that you have to understand about Distrokid is that whatever price that they tell you, to start with Distrokid, which I believe is $22.99, their basic plan, that plan is absolutely irrelevant. That plan is not a realistic plan, right? Even though that's the plan that they market to the most. It used to be $19.99, now it's $22.99. And typically, if you're seeing any ad on Distrokid, they're gonna let you know that you could release unlimited music for $22.99. That is a reality. That is what the price is. However, that plan, the basic plan, is not a realistic plan, right? Because if you were to sign up for that particular plan, right, you wouldn't actually be able to pick your own release date. Now, every independent artist needs to be able to pick their release date. If you're not able to pick your release date, you can't market it properly. You can't let people know it's coming out on Friday, this day, or that day. You have no capabilities of actually benefiting from a release date with the basic plan. They will literally release it when they want to release it, right? Typically, it could be weeks depending on the distribution service, but again, you have no say so on when it's actually released. That is a no, which would make that plan irrelevant. So when you're really thinking about the cost of Distrokid, is more just with the plan by itself, because the plan that you actually would have to go with is the Musician Plus plan, which is a tier up, because that's the first plan that you could actually have, that you could pick your own release date. This alone makes Distrokid more expensive than other distribution companies, because there's other distribution companies out there that's less than the second tier plan with Distrokid, but you can also pick your release dates, right? But the plan price by itself is not the only thing. There are also other things that you would have to pay extra for to have with Distrokid. Distrokid is the only distribution service or company that I know of right now that you have to pay extra for particular add-ons, right? A lot of the other ones, they're kind of just integrated into their different plan types, right? But DistroKid has particular add-ons that really don't make sense in comparison to other companies. For example, YouTube Content ID you have to pay extra for, right? A lot of other distribution companies that come standard. Obviously, picking your release date, you have to pay extra for because you have to pick the tier 2 plan. That comes with most standard plans with other distribution companies, right? Getting your lyrics on Spotify, you have to pay extra for if you're trying to do it through DistroKid. Now, of course, there's a workaround to that, but you still have to pay extra for it if you didn't want to do the workaround and you wanted those lyrics to show up on Spotify through DistroKid directly. These are all these different add-ons that DistroKid has, which makes the price even more than what they're showing you. So you have to understand that the first thing that you really have to consider when it comes to DistroKid is the pricing, because the pricing is a lot more than it seems once you consider all the add-ons and everything like that. When you're just looking at the price that they promote, the $22.99, it seems like it's great, it makes sense. But once you add the add-ons and everything else to it, it's far more expensive than that. So that is the first thing that I feel like every independent artist should know before they sign up with DistroKid. Now, one could make an argument that the price is the value of DistroKid is worth the price, because DistroKid does have some of the best benefits, if not the most benefits and perks for independent artists to have. It does, right? But it also is priced higher once you consider all those things. And I feel like that's important for you guys to know, because at face value, they don't tell you about all those prices. They don't tell you that you have to pay extra for YouTube Content ID. They don't tell you that you have to pay extra to get your lyrics on Spotify. They don't tell you about these add-ons. They just tell you the face value price, and you're basing everything off of that price. But once you factor in everything, trust me, it's a lot more. So that's the first thing. DistroKid is a lot more expensive than it seems. So that's something that you have to consider when it comes to DistroKid, right? Now, the second thing that you have to consider when it comes to DistroKid is if you decide to cancel your service, right? If you decide to cancel your service through DistroKid, you will lose all of your songs. They will literally remove your songs from the streaming services, which means you will lose your play count, you will lose everything. Now, there is a proper way to actually transfer your music, right, from one music distribution company to another. There's a proper way that you could do it that you won't lose anything. But if you just decided to cancel it and not pay it anymore, or let's say you couldn't afford it anymore and the annual payment came up and you couldn't pay it or whatever the case may be, they will eventually take down all of your music from the streaming platforms, which means that you would have to start over when it comes to your streams and everything like that. This is a problem. Now, they do have this benefit that they call Leave a Legacy, right? And what this benefit is here for, in case your service gets canceled because you can't afford it, or heaven forbid, if you pass away, it could still be up. Your music will still be on streaming platforms and you'll still be able to collect royalties from it. But guess what? The Leave a Legacy is also an additional fee. It's a one-time fee of $29, and that $29 is per song or per release. So if you have one album and 3 singles, you have to pay $29 4 times for each one, right? So again, that's another add-on, and this is another thing that DistroKid really doesn't talk about much. Like, how does the actual cancellation process go with DistroKid, right? That is something very, very important for you guys to know, is because if you find yourself in it and then you want to cancel it, guess what? You're going to lose everything. So this is another thing that I feel like every independent artist should know, that the cancellation process with DistroKid is not the best, because they will leave you back at square zero. Now, granted, most of the other distribution companies are like that as well. If you cancel with them, they'll just rip it off of there. So that is not something that only DistroKid does, but it's something that you need to be aware of. You have to be aware of it, and you have to make your decision from that point, right? Now, the third thing, and this is probably one of the more important things, because they definitely don't tell anybody about this, and I actually got caught with this myself. They have 3 different tier plans. They have the basic plan, the musician plan, I believe they call it, the musician plus, and then the label plan, right? If for any reason you decide to upgrade your plan, whether you upgrade it to the musician plus from the basic, or you upgrade it to the label plan because of the different benefits that's associated between the plans, you can never downgrade it. Once you upgrade it, you have to stay locked into that. The only way that you could downgrade is by completely starting over. You have to cancel the service. Your songs will then have to come off, and then you would have to re-sign up with them with a new plan. You could upgrade at any time. They promote upgrading at all times. You're gonna see upgrade all the time when you're signing in. But when it comes to downgrading, you cannot downgrade unless you cancel the service. This is a big, big problem, because let's say you decide to upgrade to the label plan because you want to try out a particular benefit, right? So you upgrade it, you tried the benefit, and you realize that benefit isn't as good as it sounded like it was, right? And then you was like, you know what? I just upgraded. Let me downgrade back because this benefit isn't worth it to me. You can't. You can't. You literally would have to cancel your service, right? And restart it, re-upload every single song, and you lose everything. Now, of course, you could go through the transfer process. You could, transfer each song to another distributor. And then, once you cancel Distrokid and all of those songs are safe with another distributor, you could sign up for Distrokid again and then transfer them back. But why would you go through all of that, right? Why do you have to go through all of that just to downgrade back in case you upgrade? So this is something that you also need to keep in mind, right? Now, if you never upgrade, you never have an issue with it. But you have to know that if you sign up with Distrokid and you ever decide to upgrade, make sure you understand that there is no turning back from this. Once you upgrade, you are now on that new plan, and there's no way to downgrade it. This is just how they are. It's in the terms and conditions. And this is one of the things that happened to me, right? Because there were certain benefits that I never had or I didn't know about. And they were releasing new benefits with the ultimate plan. I honestly signed up with it just to see if it was worth it to give you guys the information. That's the only reason I signed up for it. None of those benefits I particularly cared for, but I wanted to at least have an honest opinion about it. So I upgraded my plan just so I could test it out and I can make videos on it so you guys can see if it's worth it for you or not, right? Once I realized that it definitely wasn't worth it for me and I got all the video and all the content out of it, when I went to go downgrade, they're like, I can't downgrade. I'm like, are you freaking serious? Why can't I downgrade? I don't like any of this. Let me downgrade. No, I would have to cancel and re-upload everything. And then from that point, I realized that I had to make a video like this to let you guys know of the 3 important things that you guys need to know before signing up with it, because I don't want you guys to fall into that trap for any reason. If you want to try out a new feature with Distrokid and you upgrade it and thinking that you can downgrade tomorrow, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. So whatever plan that you decide to go with, just understand that you're going to have to stick with that plan and not change course unless you're willing to lose all of your songs on the streaming platform or you're willing to transfer, right? So those are the 3 things that I feel like is very, very important for you guys to know before signing up with Distrokid. Again, those 3 things are: Distrokid's cost is more than it looks because of the add-ons and the extra additional fees that they add to it. Number 2, that when you cancel Distrokid, you will lose all of your songs from the streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, and stuff. And number 3, if you upgrade, you cannot downgrade. Once you upgrade, you would have to cancel and start over, which puts you in the same scenario as the second thing where it's canceled and you lose everything, all right? But with all that being said, I definitely want you guys to always understand that transferring your music is an option. You can always transfer your music from one distribution company to another. So let's say you're watching this right now and you have Distrokid, and now that you know about these things, you don't want Distrokid anymore. Well, you could actually begin the process of transferring your music from one distribution company to another. I'm actually in the process of doing that right now, right? If you want to know more about how to actually transfer your music, click on the link above. It's a video I did a while back that goes through the entire process manually on transferring from one distribution company to another. All right. Now, there are some distribution companies out there that makes transferring from one distribution company to another very, very easy, right? Symphonic is actually one of the best music distribution companies that actually is out there that makes it very, very simple for you to make a transfer, right? But there are others out there as well. So that's something that you can look into as well. But if you want to transfer, now that you know this information, I completely understand and I get it, right? But just make sure you're doing it the right way so that you don't lose your play counts, so that you don't lose your streaming counts, and so on and so forth. All right, guys? But that's pretty much it. That's everything that this video is about. I just wanted to make sure that I'm keeping you guys aware of everything that you need to know before you sign up with Distrokid, or for those of you who have Distrokid now and didn't know about these things, right? But that's pretty much it, guys. Now, of course, I would be neglect to not let you guys know about my book here, The 13 Steps to Jumpstart Your Music Business, because in this book, I detail the 13 steps that I took to put myself in a position to leave my 9-to-5 job so that I could do music full time. So if you're an artist and you want to do music full time and you're stuck at a 9-to-5 job that you really don't even really like right now, and you want to find out the secrets on how to actually position yourself so that you could leave that 9-to-5 and do music full time like me, I strongly urge you to grab this book here. Now, this book is in ebook form, and you can get physical copies of it as well. It's all available on my website. I'll also leave a link in the descriptions below in regards to this as well. All right, guys? But that's pretty much it, guys. That's what this video is about. Just letting you guys know the 3 things that you need to know before signing up with Distrokid, and that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope that this video helped, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
I feel like Moses, big Moses. Yeah. Can nobody hold me? Yeah. Yeah. I'm feeling like Daniel, Big Daddy. Yeah. Can nobody face me? Yeah. I feel like Joseph, Big Joseph. Yeah. Can nobody break